Space and energy are inseparably united. Time makes space vibrate, this creates energy, and that manifests as matter and all kind of vibrations and waves like light, sound, and even consciousness. Without energy, there would be no such a thing as life or even an individual. Without energy, nothing would exist. Therefore, money can be seen as one of trillions of elements of spatial structure and energy. Money is a part of the universe, just like everything else. Are you ready for some useful thoughts about money? In this episode, I will present you a historical, a sociological, an economical, but also a spiritual approach towards money. Stay tuned, you will probably learn something new that could be useful, and if not in an economical sense, then at least in a philosophical way. 99.9999999% of space around us is empty. That's because the distances between the electrons and the atoms in proportion to their size are immensely large. There is just lots of empty space in between all entities at the quantum level. Looking at it this way, we already live in a spiritual world, because there's not much matter around us. Everything that exists is vibrating energy. I'm not making fun of spirituality or quantum physics, I just try to give an understandable and entertaining approach. Money is the source of motivation for most people on this planet. Money has created its own dynamics and it is responsible for most of the actions that take place in society. People work 8 to 10 hours every day to make their living and to try to fulfill their dreams. Money used to be a value replacement, but in this day and age, money seems to have its own value, which symbolizes and creates wealth, status, power, fun, pleasure, security, up to some point even freedom. This is why money has become some kind of energy with the potential to set things in motion, in good ways as in bad ways. Money can not only provide food, shelter, infrastructure, and all other necessary goods a working society needs, it can also be used for revolutions and wars that decide the fate of millions or even billions of people. As you can see, money is
big power in a global scale.
The dynamic of money decides over the social, political, and economical condition of almost every country in this world. There are only a few protected tribes left on this planet who have nothing to do with the rest of the world and who run a society without money. For them, this works. If the dynamic of money struggles, a whole political or economical system will start to collapse. Right now it is April 2025 and a beginning trade war demonstrates the immediate negative effect of a politically disturbed money dynamic. If we look back in history, we can witness such phenomena many times. The dot-com bubble, 9/11, the banks collapse, the housing crisis, and so on and so on. If there is something wrong with the dynamic of money, we are all suffering. So one could argue, money has become some sort of very important virtual life energy. Without money, life has become almost impossible, because if you don't give people money, they won't act. As I said before, money used to be a replacement value. This value was physically represented by gold, coins, and later on paper money. You can actually hold this money in your hands and give it to somebody else in exchange for service or goods. Nowadays, cash money plays a small role in the world of finance. Most of money, or most of the value there is now digital. And digital data is electric, and therefore it's energy. So to state that money has become energy on a physical level is true. Most of the money is not a physical thing anymore, it is now energy, circling through millions of computers all over the world, running through blockchains, exchanges, accounts, online shops, Digital wallets, smartphones, tablets, it's even floating through the air with Wi-Fi. The global money system has become so complex, no one can actually tell how much money there is on this planet. There's often money missing or money existing that shouldn't be there, and it comes out of naked short selling, debt financing, dark pools, computer errors, etc., etc., etc. The money system has become obscure, inscrutable, hardly controllable, and up to some point absurd. Money per se is worthless, but it became valuable because society agreed upon it. The idea was money would represent goods, work power, services, food, etc. But there was always some real, existing, economical equivalent that justified the existence of a certain amount of money and the existence of the replacement value. Now, since cryptocurrencies, dark pools and naked short selling, or simply letting the central bank print money when money is needed, money can just magically appear. Without any need for real economical consideration. Without any need for a real economically meaningful consideration. This is problematic. No wonder the pension system collapsed, the birth rates decline, and diseases spread. People do not feel safe anymore. Money used to stand for hopes and dreams. Now, money is on the dark side. People are mostly afraid when they think of money, and most people don't even want to talk about it. The virtualization of money has it made easier to control it, but it also made it easier to spend it. And last but not least, money's energy is also needed for humans to replicate. If you want to find a partner and have kids with, this will be hardly possible without any money. The more of this energy you have, the more options you will have in attracting the female of your dreams and provide your children the life you think they deserve. Women, on the other hand, have learned how to draw money energy from men in exchange for another form of energy only female humans can provide. A form of energy men are highly obsessed with, the energy of the female sex. Men produce around 75% of everything that there is on this earth, whereas women consume over 65%. It seems that women have learned better than men to get as much money energy as possible and at the same time invest as little work energy as possible to get it. The exchange of sexual energy is regarded as a joyful transaction, one of the few human experiences of pleasure that do not directly require money. But in many cases, money energy needs to be at least available as a premise to any exchange of sexual energy. And although these energies are not directly connected, the exchange of these energies, as I said, the exchange of these energies are the oldest profession in the world. However, it seems that more and more people lose interest in the energy of the other gender and are more happy with the energy of their own gender. Some are even going so far they deny energy of the gender completely by rejecting any form of defined gender or sex-specific role. Some do not need the sexual energy of others at all. Some have learned to transfer their own sexual energy into other forms of energy like brain power, sports, creativity, handcrafting, etc. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Also subscribe to the channel if you want to see me again. You can also send this episode to someone from whom you think could benefit from this message and listen to my interesting thoughts as well. If you want to support my channel, you can buy me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description. So here's a couple of videos you can watch next. That's it for today, and as always, have a good one.